Hi everyone, thank you for joining us for this workshop session. This is a workshop, then you can really do the training with us. Then we will show QR code with the GitHub repo, but also we will make the demonstration live with you then to show for those who are not doing the training directly, to show how it's going, right? Just to present ourselves, then Arnaud Giuliani, creator of Koin project and co-founder of Kotzilla Company, and Miguel.
Hello everyone, so Miguel Valdez, I'm managing product marketing at Kotzilla, so working with both Koin and the Kotzilla platform products.
Then we'll talk about Koin, what we do at Kotzilla, what kind of tool then you will handle on your site for this training, and then help you on the setup, and we will go step by step in the tooling and what we can show about Koin and all the Kotzilla tooling, right? This is the time. This is the time for you. Then if you want to use a laptop, there is space here and table to be more comfortable for you to work and have chairs, table, everything, AC plug here. Then take time to set up yourself. This is a QR code pointing to our GitHub repository. Then you can directly check out here, and then you can use Android Studio to open the project, right? If there is any people that are struggling, we will make some pause in between steps for you to also raise the hand if you have something. Then we can, one of us, we will come to you to see with you what's going on, right? I just keep 1 minute more the QR code. We will show it again for those who are doing the training. Who is trying, just to know a bit in the room here, who is trying to make the training with us directly live? Yeah, here, lots of people. Okay, mostly here, thanks. Thanks to you. Can give you 1 more minute to take time to check out the project. I see that we are still having people sitting here. If you want to do the training, you can take place here, and with your laptop, there is still place with table, AC plug, everything you need here to be ready to code with us. Okay, we will show it again, no worry. Let's start again with an introduction. You will need an account. It's a free account at Kotzilla.io. Then you can go on Kotzilla.io and sign up, and you will see also that we have a free Koin plugin in Android Studio. Then will help you work with Koin and all your projects. And then you still need to sign up for the plugin and the platform. Just a gentle introduction about what we will handle, and then a first one about Koin framework. Is there people that don't know about Koin here in the room? Is there people that really don't know about Koin? Okay. Then that's not an introduction to Koin. You will open a project that is already setting up with Koin, but you will be able to navigate and look at how it's working. You will see we are working with now in Android, the Google application that has been migrated to CoinDI, right? Then Koin is the Kotlin injection framework, the Kotlin dependency injection framework, well known, and then has been created 8 years ago, where you can use Kotlin DSL or annotations if you are more keen of using annotations like Dagger style or any kind of standard annotation. Then the idea is that Koin is super simple to handle, to understand, to run in your application. You can have optional compile safety. Then that means that you are not stuck to the compile safety, but you can activate that if you want, either in JUnit, either in compile safety with annotation processing with KSP. And of course, Koin is CMP, KMP compatible. That means that when you are working with Koin, you can use view model, dependency injection inside a Compose multi-platform application. Usually, this is a bit the big pictures we have as a mobile developer in Android, mainly also. Then this is the kind of layer of architecture you have in between the UI layer with all UI component like activity, composable functions. Then you have presentation logic component with view model. And then you have behind that domain layers, data layers that are handling your use cases, your data source repository, and any kind of other service, system service. As I was saying, it's not a course for Koin, but more you have an idea of basically how you describe your configuration with the DSL. Then you see that's quite easy to understand. Here it's constructor injection. You see that all the classes we have here have their constructor, and then we use just the module section, and then you have the keyword view model of factory and singleton. Then we have view model instance, singleton instance, and factory. It's instance that are created each time you are requesting them. You see it's quite readable. Even like people that don't know about Koin, they can really understand how this configuration is working. In Compose, we will mainly use, now in Android, we will use Koin view model that is hooking on the Google Android API to inject your view model tied to your lifecycle and your composable. Then you see it's quite straightforward. You just have to declare your module, your view model, your dependency, and then use Koin view model inside your composable. And it's multi-platform. Here it's the JetBrains main sample app where you have the iOS and the Android application that is quite similar. And everything, all those JetBrains application sample, they are using Koin. What we will see also is that at Kotzilla, we are developing a plugin for you. We are developing a plugin integrating in your Android Studio that will help you with your configuration navigation. We are showing how your configuration is finally looking at. Then you have a navigation tree, a bit like your modules or file. Then you can really navigate inside. Then you can go, for example, from a dependency to the source, to the definition, and then navigate to the code. Instead of having to track the interface and the definition, you go directly to the definition and read the call sites of your code. The plugin is doing live safety check. That means that it's before compile safety check. In your IDE, we are looking at your code, and while you are typing, we know your configuration, then we can highlight if you miss something. Then it's even before compile safety, it's really live check. And we will see that also all the issues, all the stuff we can see in the Kotzilla platform, you can download them, you can really collect them in your plugin, and then have directly insights into your code to understand, to see that you have issues. And we will see that now also we introduced this week the capacity to ask a fix with AI. How it looks like. And this is the side panel of the configuration, and you will see that this is what we have. This is the now in Android configuration. Then we have a few dozens of modules, right? It's quite interesting. It's not just an Hello World application. It's really something where there is enough matters to demonstrate really some interest in terms of development. And here, for example, you see that we have commented out the topic DAO definition somewhere in the configuration, and then directly the plugin will point every component that is missing this dependency directly. And it's also highlighting in the code. Here, this snippet is navigation. That means that where you have what we call the side icon in your IDE, you will be able to navigate to all your configuration directly. And for example, if you miss something, and for example, the default DAO here is missing, then we have a warning highlighting saying this component is missing a definition. And if you have issues captured by the Kotzilla platform, you will have also icons in classes and lines where we have detected things, and we will see what we can detect together. The Kotzilla platform then It's a platform that will take the advantage of your application data, your architecture. Then we understand your screens. We understand your component lifecycle. We understand how you are running your components, how you are assembling your components, what's the performance, what's the memory location of that. Then we clearly making kind of profiling built in for Koin and your application, and it's available as a multi-platform also. Then you will see, you have a dashboard that really give you an overview of the health of your application. We are detecting critical issue. That means that what we will detect is, for example, that you are blocking your application with a view model, and you are blocking the main thread. Then we can anticipate that you are blocking the main thread, and then you can already fix something before you have this kind of ANR, right? Then this is quite important to have big insight, not only in debug. You can really apply that in production because this is built-in insight that we have from the Koin dependency injection engine. Then everything you are looking here is already available in Koin, and then we capture that to analyze your data and then give the maximum insight as possible. You can investigate every user session. That means we will see that there is all the UI state from activity, fragment, even composable navigation triggering. You will see that we have a clear navigation. Then on your right, no left, you have the dashboard where we see if we found something and then if there is an impact in your application for this or this session. And on the right, you have a list of critical issues that has been found. It's clearly, if you want to have something in mind, it's clearly a mix of Firebase Crashlytics and performances directly out of the box ready for you. You don't have to instrument your code, and we are logging and tracing your component directly out of the box. And for example, here, it's a small view, and Miguel will show you more in details how we can explore things, but you have timeline of everything occurring in your application in between activity state, resolution block where you have number of dependency, number of object created, the time it took, and also on the left, all the thread processing time and the memory location. Everything is ready for you, and you can have the same amount of data in debug and production. And especially production is interesting because you have your customer data. Then really you can understand how your customer is really driving your application and what is the current performance of that. Yeah, then we are on the point to start the training and show you how we will move on to that. And clearly, if you have something to keep in mind in Koin and Kotzilla Koin, Kotzilla is taking part of Koin and bring you a lot of advantage and strategic data to really understand how your application is behaving and then deal with issues that are occurring. As I was saying, it's on top of Koin. That means it's one line to add on your Koin configuration. That means that when you check out the project, you will see that it's just extension on the Koin, and then you see here, we just need to add one line on the configuration called analytics, and we will start everything for you from this point. Again, if there is some of you that would like to take the QR code, the GitHub repo, raise the hand if there is some people still looking for the repo, checking out, trying to look at the Wi-Fi, having a bit of data. Okay. Slow? It's a bit slow. Yeah. It's a bit the problem of workshop in such conferences. We don't know about the Wi-Fi connection.
This is the one I'm using just in case you're using another connection. Yeah, this one is working well so far. at some point you will see that it asks you if you already have an account, but you can skip if you don't have an account. You just say like, I'm new, and then it should be okay. So far it's working, we'll see.
Okay, yeah, can still wait 30 seconds. Just to see that everyone is downloading the GitHub repo. You will see it's quite big project because this is the Google one. Then we have migrated Koin from it, and we have the now in Android application. We will show what is it, right? Let's go. The only thing, we have prepared everything in this repository. We have prepared everything. You don't have to make big setup. The only thing you have to do is going to the setup process, and we will even show how we can onboard, and we can show the onboarding step. And you need, like Firebase, you need a configuration JSON file that helps you configure the project. The one you have in your repository is empty. Then you need to copy paste your JSON inside, replace what you have, and then just run your application. It should start. On this side, you are more or less ready to try the first step. How do you feel? Okay, let's wait a bit. We still have a few slides to take time. Just 1 hour of workshop, but if we have 30 minutes to download, it will be a bit tricky. Okay, while we are still downloading, this is now in Android. Now in Android is a Google application, an open source one, then you can really check out, play with it. It's demonstrating all the blueprint patterns in Compose, navigations, sharing tabs and stuff, transition. This is where, if you want something, a playground where you have already interesting matters, then you can really play with it, and you have all the adaptive screens, you have Compose integration stuff, and this version you are using is using Koin. Let's wait a bit. Yes, yes, we can show you how we make the onboarding, right? It's the magic of a live workshop is we can also have some demo effect, but we'll see.
Yeah, you will see that. Maybe I can also show you for the audience, for those that are not doing the workshop with us, what this GitHub repo looks like. So, and what are the main steps. So after the checkout and clone of the project in Android Studio, so as we were saying, so you need to sign up and create an account. And just after that, you will see that you know everything, as Arnaud was saying, is configured, so you just need to register the application. So here you have directly the links, but I'm going to do that so you can also see, you know, for the rest of the audience. So at some point when you create an account and you log in, you're going to come to this screen, which is the welcome screen for the Kotzilla console. As you see here, I already have an application. So for those that are creating the workshop, starting with the workshop, this will be empty. So you just need to click on register a new application. And you will see that, you know, it's really straightforward. You need to select the type of application that you want to configure the SDK for. You see here that we have 5 types of applications. So the one that we are using today, the now in Android, is application is an Android application. So it's going to be the first one. But, you know, as Arnaud was saying, we are supporting, you know, Android using Compose or without Compose. We are supporting Compose Multiplatform, pure KMP. And if you are, I know that some people in the room are developing SDK libraries. So we are also supporting, you know, the setup on an SDK library in case you are using going for that. So, so yeah, just select the type of the application. I mentioned here is Android, and then just give it a name and also package ID. So the ones that we propose here, you know, for the workshop is to call it now in Android, and this is the package, application package that we're going to be using. This is we're going to do it with a debug builder. So yeah, so this is basically what you're going to be doing.
And you just have to run the application as it is when you check out the project. It's already in debug, the default demo version of now in Android, and then just run it. Just add then you can see here, you can start giving the name, giving the package of your application, and then here we give you your Kotzilla.json key file where you just place it right to the module that is loading your start.
Yeah, you will see that there is other actions here described, but to simplify today the workshop, everything is configured, so the only action that we need to do is this one, no? Downloading the JSON file. But you will see that, just mentioned, showing that for the other people in the audience, it's pretty straightforward. We're using, you can use a version catalog configuration, and it's just about, declaring, the SDK and also the plugin for Gradle, and basically you are set up, no? And we were showing just before that to start the SDK is just one line. It's called to analytics function, so pretty straightforward and pretty similar to, if you are already using Crashlytics or something the same manner. I don't know if making any progress with the registration.
Okay.
Okay.
So let us know. I can come to you and see if there is any glitch, and then Miguel will continue.
Okay. So as soon as we have the application registered, we can just run the app. So I'm gonna run it here from using the emulator from Android Studio. So as soon as we run the app, hopefully it's not building everything. No, it's okay. So we're going to actually capture the first user session. So to do that, I'm going to do some clicking, to simulate some interactions. So just something really basic, no? So probably you know already the app, so you get some useful content about Android development. So we're going to click and visualize something here. You can maybe also save some articles for later. And then we're going to just stop. So just after that, the first user session should be recorded. And if we go now to the console again, we should see, all the interactions and all the, provide all the visibility, and potentially even identify some of the issues that we have introduced. No? I'm going to go here with the console. I'm going to show you also after how you can do the same thing from the plugin. As part of the workshop, we are not, downloading and installing the Koin IDE plugin, but I'm going to show you so you see also what you can see directly in Android Studio. So if I come back here and I look to the different user sessions, here I have last user session is 26 minutes, so probably I need to run it again. It was not recorded. Let me just check.
Also, this version of Now in Android is a special one. We plotted some issues inside, then don't use it like that. We just put a few issues inside to catch them later, like slowing down startup, slowing down view model, slowing down some components, and then the idea is really to analyze and see directly while running that we can detect that.
Okay, I think it should be good, no?
Okay.
Let's try again here. For some reason, it's not recording.
Or refreshing, global refreshing.
Refresh.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I think the
Wi-Fi.
Let me use while this is loading. So the last one that I did just before, the session. So every time that you record a session, you will get access to the complete timeline, as I mentioned, including all the interactions from the user. But yeah, you see here that one of the main difference, if you are used to work with similar tools, like, for example, Firebase Performance Monitoring, is that you get a level of detail that is really Koin focused. So we'll give you way more details out of the box without adding any manual tracing than you can find, in other tools. So for example, here in this kind of what we call the key moments of the user session, you see different things. You see some of the performance issues that has been detected. You see also at the end a crash. And you also see here, Android activity and Compose navigation activity. Arnaud was talking that we are also capturing the Compose events and also the navigation events. So all that is shown here in this main view. And then, of course, you can either decide to focus on one particular section to, for example, continue the analysis. And for that, as soon as you refresh, you can get, narrow access to, for example, the different resolutions of the components and also the, the dependencies. And what is, I think, more important is the issue that has been detected. So, for example, here we see that at some point we have detected a main thread performance issue. You will see that this one is going to be one of the exercises that we're going to do, just showing that for the whole audience. And so something is happening here. So this view model is blocking the main thread. So the good thing is like you can continue to explore and see like, okay, yeah, the component resolution took more than 1 second, 1.5 seconds. So this is pretty bad. It's maybe not yet an ANR, but it's a good candidate to be. And then you see that, we see more coin specific here. You can see what are the dependencies and the dependency graph of this view model. This one is pretty simple. We can immediately see that, the problem of performance is not related to the dependency resolution because the dependencies are resolving pretty fast here, you see, between less than 1 millisecond to 2 milliseconds. So the problem should be somewhere in the constructor of the view model. No? So just with 3 clicks, we get a feeling about something bad is happening, which kind of issue, and an initial idea of where to continue the investigation. No? So yeah, just to give you a glimpse of how the platform works. I think now we can see that live with the workshop exercise.
We can look at the plugin and then start the workshop steps.
Yeah, maybe this one, no? You want me to show the plugin first?
Well, the plugin, yes, we can just show quickly the plugin, how it's working, and
okay.
Right.
I can do that. So just before starting the exercises, just for the ones that are already using the plugin, or if you want to use the plugin, just after the session, the plugin looks something like that, as you saw in the previous the previous slides. It's something that you can install by just going to the JetBrains marketplace. If you go to the JetBrains marketplace, you will see that there is a Koin official plugin. It's the only one available. Latest version is 1.4, so you can just install it. It's completely free to use. You just need an account, so it's the same account that we just created, no? And here you see, what Arnaud was describing quickly on the slides. So something that probably you will find useful is that you get immediately a visual representation of your configuration. That can be really handy, especially if you have projects with hundreds of modules. And then we detect the plugin detect automatically, the init of Koin. So in this case, of course, it's in the application because it's an Android application. But if it was a Compose, you will see exactly what is initialized. You can then navigate. You can navigate the different modules. You can navigate also the components and the parameters. And the cool thing is that we have also improved a lot the navigation in your code. No? Sometimes it was difficult without this plugin to navigate to a declaration or from usage of that particular dependency. So this is something that now it's out of the box with those icons. So if I click here, I go to the declaration. If I click here, I can go to a different usage of that dependency. No? So all that has been added since the very beginning, the version of the plugin. And then before moving into the application issues that we were seeing in the console, one of the cool features is what Arnaud was mentioning, the live checks. So the ability to do compile safety, but even before the need of compiling real time. So let me show you that with a quick hack here. If I'm just commenting this line, for example, like simulating that I'm not declaring something here. So immediately you have a live update here about all the issues that has been detected. And we also have a dedicated view in which you see a summary of all the issues that are related to safety. So for everything that I'm showing so far from the plugin, all that runs locally. You don't need to use configure the SDK to do it. So yeah, again, this is not part of what we're going to demonstrate today on the workshop, but we thought it was a good opportunity to also show you what you can do with the plugin, also in terms of visualization, navigation, and live safety. No? Good. Let me just
let's dive into the workshop.
Let me just fix it so I don't have a time crash. Okay, that's good. Okay, yeah. So let's back to the workshop. Okay, yeah, we're going to do different exercises. We have introduced different issues in the app, including a crash. So let's start with the crash. Okay.
Yes.
So we did something, to illustrate and to generate a crash and see how it can be detected and fix it. We did something like really straightforward. If you open the app, if you did it already for the ones doing the workshop, and if you click on the interest tab, you're going to see that it crashed. So every time that you click on the interest tab, is gonna crash. So that's the first thing that we're going to do. So please run your app, go do some clicking around, and then at some point click on the interest, generate the crash, and then go to the console to investigate, if that was identified by the console or not, and then let's try to fix it. So that's what I'm going to do. So one of the if you do that, one of the first view that you're going to see in the console is what you call the dashboard view. You can see that as a kind of an app vitals for your application, with different information about the number of user sessions that has been captured. If you were using an application with different devices, for example, a Compose a multi-platform application, you will see also potentially different devices here, including iOS devices. So all that centralized, unified, as Arnaud was mentioning, it's not only that we unify performance issues and crashes, but we also unify the investigation for the different devices, including iOS if you are using a multi-platform application. And the important view for today's workshop is this one. We highlight automatically the critical issues. So the critical issues are the ones that we think that are impacting more the user experience. So different categories are concerned. So any crash is something that is a critical issue by definition. Any performance issue that is impacting the app startup or is impacting the main thread or the background thread, meaning that it's blocking either the main thread or one of the background thread. Those are the 4 main categories of critical issues. No? So if we don't have any demo effect here, at some point in 1 hour and a half, we're going to have some demo effects. No? We have here the issue, so the crash. So we see that this crash was captured in the previous session when I was clicking. I'll try to do it again to see if we can have a new one. But you will see that you get the stack trace, the complete stack trace. So you should, those doing the workshop, try to investigate that and see what is the origin, and trying to point that directly into the code. You will see that this behavior is consistent between any issue that you are going to explore. So you have a summary of the issue. Of course, you can at some point either close it or take it, or change the status of the issue. You have for crashes a stack trace. For performance issues, you have information about why this issue is a performance issue. And then you always have all the different user sessions that has been impacted. As you see here, it was running yesterday and today the different user sessions. So all those sessions are impacted by this crash. You can, of course, do some filtering using different options here. And you can click on one of the user sessions to go back to what we were showing before, no? The exact sequence of events that led to that crash, no? So here we see that this user session ended up with a crash. But the cool thing is that you see exactly everything that happened before. That's kind of, from our experience working with big applications. Not all the crashes, of course, are going to come after some performance issues, but in some situations that happens, no? So I think it's really handy to have the whole picture when you have a crash, because some of the crashes at some point, happens after some other issues that appeared before, no? So that's kind of the useful thing.
We can see the navigation here. Just in more details, we see that we launched the interest route, that is navigation from Compose, and then we launched the interest view model. And then after that, you will see, if you look in Android Studio, you would see also the stack trace, but here you have access to the stack trace, and then you can start investigating, clearly. Then the good thing is that this data is ready for you, and we can analyze that and help you generate a prompt. That means that we have an understanding of your data and your context, and then we can start helping you fixing this issue. For a stack trace and a crash, to be kind of easy for everyone to ask for just copy-paste the stack trace. But for other issues, we will see that we have more understanding and analyze on our side. We understand your data, then we can give a complete context that help your AI go super fast in terms of resolution.
I think I lost because it was opening. Let me just try to...
Some of you tried to crash the application already? Yeah? Okay. But that's quite obvious. It's in the interest tab and the navigation. We are crashing the view model, this view model directly.
Let me just try it again to see, if my internet connection is better, so I can illustrate that and we see the session live.
We are also slowing down the startup. This is why it's taking a few seconds to start, but to simulate slow startup and trying to see that we highlight that. Okay.
Let me see here. Look at. Okay, so I'm gonna just right away click on the interest. Okay, that's crashing. We see here in the longcat that this crash arrived.
Then you can restart.
I can restart here the application, and then we'll check the console to see if this new user session has been recorded.
In terms of crash reporting, it doesn't override your crash reporter. For example, if you use Crashlytics already, then it's collocated to your crash reporter. It doesn't override it. Then it will just be collocated. That means if you have Crashlytics and Kotzilla, then you have both the crashes on both platforms.
So here it is. So we have the session that was recorded. Yes. And we see that this session is ending up with a crash. Actually, the other things that were loaded just when the application was started, and immediately after it crashed. So that's something that you should see if you are doing the workshop. Something that I think it's maybe important also to show is that probably you notice here on the left side some other views in addition to the timeline view. One that is called memory usage, and another it's thread execution. This is something that we are providing also by default in all user sessions. So you know exactly, you have visibility about the thread execution and how components are resolving either in the main thread or in the background threads. That can be also really handy for investigating. And something that actually we added, last 2 weeks is this new memory usage graph. This is, the idea here is not to replace a memory leak tool like a canary leak or something. It's really to provide some specifics about memory usage during coin resolution. So you see here, for example, that you have a graph in which you can see all the components that are in memory. You see at any point the ones that were created, the ones that were already in memory. And in this application, we don't have scopes, but if you are using coin scopes in your application, you will also see scopes. That's really important. We got a lot of feedback from you guys that sometimes using scopes and especially trying to identify issues, where not using scopes properly can have an impact, of course, on the memory and on the application. So here we're providing you a way to really know exactly what's going on, if there is some scope that is not closed, and if you have a memory leak that is really related on how you are using, scopes in your app. No? So yeah, so those are just as a side note to two of the.
You can open the detail. Then
we can.
We can open the detail view. Then you know what you have allocated in memory. You know what you are requesting to be created. And you know also what scope is open. That means that if you recreate stuff and then you have objects stuck in some scope and then you are leaking those objects, then you will see them here. And that's quite interesting to have all the life cycle of your object. And you have also all the states of the activity and fragment. Then you clearly understand from the unstarted, on resume, on create, everything that Android developers love about lifecycle that can be tracked easily. And then you see the state of your object. Is it in singleton? Is it a scoped object? Or if, for example, we are creating a view model, then this view model go into the Android system directly. Let's move forward.
Let me just maybe show how we can fix it with AI. This is not part of the workshop, but I think it's pretty cool. So I wanted to show you. Let me see if that works. Some of the things, of course, this crash was kind of easy to identify, because we know exactly, that was introduced manually. But sometimes the issues are not that easy to fix. And some of the feedback that we got from early users of the platform is like, oh, it would be great if you could help us identify not only the problems, but help us fixing it. So the first thing that we did is that we provided a detailed documentation, which for each one of the issues we detect, we share why it's happening and how you should fix it, and what are the best practices that you need to apply when using Koin to do not have it. So this is something that is available in the documentation. So let me also show you that before. So if you go to the doc kotzilla.io, you have an extended documentation with all the details. So there is a section called like how to fix, and of course for how to fix, we have all the issues and we explain why this is happening, what are the recommended actions, and how to do the investigation. Okay, that's cool. but sometimes you need some extra help, no? So we are announcing this week, something pretty cool, which is an integration with your favorite AI coding assistant. So whatever you are using, Copilot, whatever you're using, Gemini, Juni, of course, from JetBrains, you can also get this extra help. And we automatically generate the prompts to make those fixes, accurate. The reason why we did that is that we realized that the most difficult part, was to have the right context to share this context with the AI tool. And that's exactly what we've done at Kotzilla Platform. No? We have been identifying issues, providing all the details in the timeline. So what about generating a prompt that is ready to be used for fixing it? So let's try to fix this crash with one of those prompts.
Who is using AI tool to develop? Like, who is using Agent, Juni, Gemini, Copilot? A few ones, yeah, starting more or less.
Let me see if I see the crash here.
We don't try to reinvent an AI. We have the data, then we have the analyze, we understand. For stack trace, it's quite obvious, but you see here that we have all the details for you, and then we prepare the analysis to say, okay, here it is. You can pass it to your favorite AI plugin, agent, whatever you love in AI LLM stuff. Then
you will see that we have two options. So if you are using the plugin, you can see the list of issues as we saw it in the console, but directly from the plugin. Honestly, I like to use it that way, so then I don't move out of the Android Studio. So the equivalent of what we saw here with the critical issues, you get those same critical issues also here directly in the plugin. And for each one of the issues, whether you are in the plugin or in the console, you can probably you saw me clicking here, you can generate the prompt. So I'm generating the prompt here for that particular issue, for the crash, contextualize. If I'm doing that from the console, it looks something similar. So if I go to the crash, you have this icon, and you can generate the prompt. So it's up to you. The good thing about doing from Android Studio is that then potentially your IDE code assistant will have the context of your project, and you have more chances to have an accurate fix, no? So let's try that.
We have the context inside your IDE. It's better because then directly your AI engine understands from what file it can start. The big stuff is that we understand from what class then you had an issue, and then we can point that to your AI. It will avoid like kind of AI hallucination trying to refactor all your project. Then you just say, okay, just look at this class for this kind of issue. Let me fix that, right? And yeah,
copy and paste it here. I'm using here Copilot. Again, it could be Juni, it could be Gemini directly. I'm using the agent mode because I would like here to get a fix right away. You can also use the ask mode if you prefer. And by default, I tried this morning with Cloud Sonnet, but and it was working well. But you can select the one that you prefer. So hopefully, running that is going to give us a fix. And then you will see that it's a little bit even more interesting when you are fixing performance issues that are a little bit harder to catch and to fix than a crash. So let's see. OK, the crash is happening. OK, interest view model. OK, here we have the context. Of course, I share the context. I give the context to my project to Copilot. So yeah, so immediately he was able to find the crash that was added during the initialization. So pretty straightforward for this one. But I think it's pretty cool, no?
And we try to hide directly in sub-private functions because we could like try to put things in the middle of the class. It would have found it directly, but even if just you hide stuff in function, it doesn't understand things. Then you need to pass the context, and then you can solve that. For stack trace, it's quite obvious. We have directly your lines, but it's quite easy to just copy paste, ask your favorite AI, and just fix.
Cool. OK, so that works. So that's fantastic.
You find the interest on your side, you find the interest view model. Yeah, quite.
So maybe we can move to the second exercise. The following ones are going to be more about performance issues and how it relates to Koin. So the following one is about that component resolution that is blocking the main thread, no? In this case, the main activity. We introduced also an issue in the main activity view model that is delaying the execution. You saw at the beginning when I was doing the overall demo that it was taking more than one second. So yeah, so what would be great if you can do is like run again the user session, try to do not click on the interest so you don't have a crash immediately, to click around, and then go again to the console. You should see it's not this one. It's this one, yeah. So you will see a main activity view model issue, and then we're going to do the exploration together. So probably you did that already, so let me go here, back again.
You should see something on the main activity view model. That means that in the ranking issues, you should see this view model being blocking your screen. Then, yeah.
So here we see the same issue details that before with the crash. And as I mentioned, here we don't have the stack trace anymore. We have more information about the issue. So here you have also the threshold. So we are, by default, identifying any performance issue, any long component resolution that takes more than 100 milliseconds. We are really far from what the common definition of an ANR, but honestly, we think that it's better to prevent those things to happen. So we would like to track everything that is taking more than 100 milliseconds because it's already too long. So here you have more information. Again, here is another option to generate also the prompt directly if you want. We'll see that in a minute. Again, the same view with allowing you to filter. And the cool thing here is that if you access the timeline directly from an issue, we position the timeline exactly into the section that matters. So you see here that I don't have all the details anymore. I just have the details about this particular issue, and then I can do the investigation that I was showing before. No? So two ways to use to analyze the session, either looking to a particular session or going through a particular issue. In that case, you have an automatic filtering. No? And if you're using the plugin, so the same thing is available here in the application issues view. So somewhere here, I should have a main activity view model blocking the main thread, no?
In between 100 milliseconds to 500 milliseconds, you begin to really block what we call in Compose all the junk stats, and you begin to have a frame drop, and you begin to have really the main thread blocking. It's clearly with the kind of device we have now, like Pixel 10 and whatever, it's clearly something we don't see anymore, but we have lots of uncovered view models that are blocking the main thread, and you don't see that there is something coming, because then it's before this thing is clearly coming up in a big things, and then you can see really this, for example, view model taking part of a problem in your application. In Koin, one resolution block is kind of 0.001 milliseconds to resolve. That means if it's taking more than 100 milliseconds to load, there is really something wrong you are doing in your code.
Maybe also another something that we can show here is that if you are accessing to the list of issues from the plugin, clicking on one of the issues like here, this one, the view activity view model blocking the main thread, one click brings you directly to the component that is impacted. So even already without using AI or whatever, you already also have facilitate the way to fix it. And doing 2 clicks brings you to what we saw before, the issue details in the console. No? Okay, so probably you already did the analysis. Probably you found that at some point during the initialization there is a post-init method call that is having a 1.5 second delay. We could proceed the same here. Okay, that's a big hack, but was just make something simple for illustrating the the workshop today. You can do the same thing, no? We can also try to fix it with the prompt. You'll see that here the prompt gets more interesting, no? Because the context that we are generating for fixing this issue contains, of course, the component impacted, the type of issue, different user session that has been impacted. But especially, you have like the total resolution, and you have the complete information about the dependency chain for that component. Can be huge in some situations. Believe me, we're seeing like a huge dependency graph sometimes with complex applications, like sometimes with thousands. So that can be really useful. And if you had different issues on the same component, you can have for example, a first level issue, which is the view activity view model is blocking the main thread because of the resolution, but then inside you can have different dependencies also taking a lot of time. So you could have different issues in cascading. So they will also be part of the prompt. So let's try to do the same. Let's see if it can be fixed here using.
When Miguel is typing, you see on the class, the class name is completely underlined in red. That means that we found really a critical issue, really critical. You see it's above 500 milliseconds in terms of view model creation. That's really huge. Then we highlight you in your code where we found something. Then you can really go back and see. You can really catch up this issue detection here directly from your code. It's really at the line or at the class we detected.
Okay, again, this one was pretty straightforward, but again, it was able to detect the trick here on the post init and provide the fix. I'm going to reject it because I want to keep it for the moment, but yeah, that was working as well. I was doing some tests also, which, about some issues that are more related to, and I got a lot of times the feedback from you guys that it's not always, it looks easy, but it's not always that easy to know if I'm using single off or factory off in Koin appropriately at the right place all the time. So this is a kind of a common issue that we can detect if there is impacting performance. And this is a common issue that I see the prompt of fixing, telling you like you are using factory off in a repository, you should change that into a single off. So yeah, those kind of things that sometimes are hard to catch, are some of the ones that were easily identified and fixed using the prompt. Okay. So I think we can move back to the workshop. Workshop, guys. So far, so good? Yeah. Let's do the exercise number 3. This one was to illustrate that, sometimes you can also have performance issues that are actually even harder to detect because it's not, impacting directly the main thread, but a background thread. And a background thread, that is a component that is taking a lot of time in terms of resolution in a background thread can also impact the overall performance of the application and even freeze the screen, no? So this is why it's important to detect it. Also, that there are more and more users of Koin trying to initialize some of the dependencies in a background thread to also optimize the app startup. So yeah, I think it's really useful to make sure that we can see what's going on in both the main thread and the background threads and try to optimize it. No? So what we did here, similar thing, if you, again, with the same user session that you have created, we also introduced a delay on the sync worker, work manager. Yeah, you should be able to also find it and let's try to fix it as well. So if I go back to the critical issues, we see here that we have a long resolution that is blocking the background thread. So this is the one that you also, guys from the workshop, should.
It's when we are creating work manager, then we have our worker runner, then we can see there is something wrong in those resolution and buildings. Then you can see that it's not only about main thread, but really also the background thread that where you see if your architecture is running well.
You will see that here, what is interesting is that in the now in Android application, this list enable worker is already, having some complexity. Remember the main activity view model was only having 3 dependencies. Here we have like, 41 requested instances. So we see, again, for this one, the total execution, we added the same delay, 1.5 seconds. But, just wanted to illustrate that in some more complex graph, you can also, try to use that to scroll and to see if there are other issues. I was mentioning before that sometimes for a same component, you can have multiple issues. That's the case. Here, in addition to the background thread performance issue, we also have one dependency, in this case, a data source that is taking 16 milliseconds. That's also big. A dependency that is taking more than 5 milliseconds is a really big. Arnaud was mentioning it should take like 0.0.1. So yeah, 5 milliseconds is already a good threshold. Here is taking 16 milliseconds. No? So you can have those multiple issues in cascade.
Also in the details, if you just come back here, you have details in between get, create. This is what you see, what you create in memory. Every time you see get or create, we get something, for example, the Android context, we get it directly in 0.17 milliseconds in memory. But when we create, for example, networking layer, etc., you see that we are on the creating branch, and then we see if there is factory with F and singleton with S. Then clearly, for those 41 objects I'm creating or requesting, this is how you can really debug what you are doing, because clearly what is interesting, you can really understand how on the paper your architecture is running, clearly.
Okay, I'm not going to do the fix directly because you saw the point about generating the prompt, but the same thing can be done. Was that good also for the workshop? And then I think we can move to the last. I think it's not the last. It's the,
oh, yeah.
No, there is still another one. So this next exercise is also about detecting a slow app startup. This is usually the one that is commonly detected by tools like Firebase, the App Vitals. But I just wanted to also show you that this is also working out of the box the Kotzilla platform. So here we have introduced a delay also at the beginning of the NIA application class. So this is what is creating the delay. No? So yeah, if you run that, you can also see that we have this issue appearing here. The app startup issue is a little bit special because, of course, there is no Koin graph dependency related. You have an issue that happening that is taking time to load the first screen. So if you look to the user session here, you see that the app startup was detected, and then you continue to see all the other information of the during the execution. But something here was highlighted. The threshold for app startup is 5 seconds. To align to also the most common definitions, in the market. In this one, it took more than 6 seconds. Yeah, wanted to illustrate this one. Here in the exercise, what we wanted to also mention is that even if we design the SDK and the platform to be something that don't require traces, everything is out of the box. If you would like to add traces, for example, here to investigate why the app startup is long. For example, last week with some application, the issue was coming at the app startup because they were calling some certificate signature service, and it was hard to investigate exactly the source code of the root cause of the issue. Sorry. So you can also use manual tracing if you want with the Kotzilla SDK. You can just call the trace function here, and at the level of visibility that you need to continue the investigation. No, this is something. If I show you again the documentation, there is something that you can see clearly here. Okay, you can log messages. You can also capture crashes. You can trace. This is the one that we were using, and every time that you do that, it appears automatically into your user session view. No. I can do that.
And in between the lines, if clearly you are suspecting one of the functions or something else, you can really explore manually here, but you can really trace. You see, it's quite easy to just hold the functions you want with trace, with the tag, and then you will find your tag inside your sessions. And then you can really compare the performance of those trusts. Then really you can easily, this is the kind of little tooling that every time you want to explore things and you want to be sure that the performance are right, you want just to trace this function and don't want to be bothered by other things, then directly here you have access to this tracing function.
So I'm going to run a new user session just to show you that in the timeline for that particular user session, we are capturing those traces as a way to continue the investigation. Let's see if the network is kind with me. Okay.
We should see like function tracing for the startup. For the startup, the problem is that you might initializing other SDKs or other stuff. Then you can really spot things directly and then understand who is pointing that.
Didn't capture this one.
Wi-Fi glitch.
Yeah, the thing
wait a bit. Perhaps you can restart and wait.
Otherwise, I can show you another session in which this was captured. Let me
from the dashboard overview, then you can really find by device. You can even also, if you are putting properties inside sessions like business properties, you would like to find a special customer, you can really find it directly. Like if you have a technical user ID, for example, you want to look for a user that has some problem, then clearly you can just search in all your data and you have access to that.
Okay, so here, quick, in this one, I just added the trace for at the beginning to the sync init, but yeah, just wanted to show you that that appears, in the right sequence of the timeline, no? So quite useful to continue the investigation, and in particular from our experience when trying to solve the app startup issues. Not sure how we are about time, but let's go to the last one. This one I was talking a little bit about, sometimes it's not easy to catch, misusage of single or factory. So we wanted, this is not kind of I wanted to show here not an automatic detection of the issue, but to illustrate the memory graph to see, to help you investigate. So what we did in this version of the Now in Android application is that we set to, I think, factory, no?
Exactly.
In all those classes, so we put everything to factory. So that's something that should, of course, have an impact immediately in the first user session. So we can click in any of the user sessions that we have generated, and we should be able to investigate.
What is interesting to understand is your stability, your architecture stability is, for example, for a screen or for such layers, that are you recreating too much objects? Are you creating this or this? Perhaps you don't need to recreate this object. And then you see that you have, in the memory graph, you have a big, bold, dark green area where this is your current memory allocation and what we have stored, but the light green is what you request and what you try to ask to Koin to create. Yeah. And then if you see lots of bump things, that's not good, because then you are trying to create a lot of objects that are really volatile. Then you can really question yourself. Is it really mandatory here? Did you forget something? Is your configuration not finely tuned for this stability? Or for some of you, perhaps you want, for example, you want your data layer to be completely stateless, and then you will use factory for all those components, and then Koin won't keep them in memory. But for most of the, let's say, normal architecture, you want your data source, your repository to be stable in memory, and then when a new view model wants to request your data source, then you don't want to recreate all your data and refetch all your caches. This is where you can really investigate and then let you understand that with this kind of stability and stability in memory.
And yeah, that was for the workshop. I just wanted to also, just if you can, the people that were doing the workshop, did you face any major issue with the configuration, the SDK, or everything was working smooth? Yeah? No major issue? Okay, that's cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.